That means I can't pause. No, unajua sasa isha record video ya kwanza. So I'm not we have students name, note the capital S, capital N, then from there instructors name, then course, then date. Let's not lie here. Why exactly would I say instructor's name? This student hujui kama ako college, hujui kama ako university, hujui kama anafanya graduate, hujui kama huo lecturer wake ni professor, hujui kama ni just a common teacher. Instructor is a name that stands for of them. What would happen in case the student chooses to submit your paper directly to the professor? Hapa tu kwa professor's name makosa. These students they usually come online because they are not good as you are. That's why they outsource this kind of works. Not that atu wanakuanga na kazi mingi. They are sure they can't get better marks than someone else. That's why they come here. What would happen in case you write professor's name, alafu student submit your paper? Na huo mwalimu wao wa high school. Anajulikana tu hii kazi ulikope somewhere. How else can you call me a professor in it? That's why we usually say instructors name because it stands for any educator. Then date. I've not made them bold and ziko kwa edge. Notice that. Shall not hivyo. Ziko kwa edge. Uwezi kuja weke hizi hapa katikati at you make your paper look fancy like that. This is not MLA. This is a format that has not been known to humans. Must be that way. That's how MLA looks like. Then after that, I need, just after date, without leaving any space, I need to put the title, but always the title is usually centered. The title or the topic of the paper. Topic and title are the same thing, but a topic is different from a header. So, in this case, we want a title of our paper. Kuna ile paper tulikuwa tunafanya inaitwa benefits of what? Ah, yeah, so that they are going to continue that. Nilikuwa nimezima microphone, so you just sustain a view what we are doing. So introduction. Okay. How do I kuandika introduction? Introduction, by just reading the first statement, I can tell you whether it is introduction or not. If someone comes here and they want to teach you about how Kenya is corrupt, and they start by telling you, I went to this school, I was born here, that is not part of content of the work. That is just general information which you call introduction. Even without mentioning the word introduction, you simply know that a person is introducing themselves. So introduction, I want to nataka uandike hivyo Esther, introduction. Nini? So you can Google and paste it. Paste there, whatever. Or you can use someone else's machine. So introduction, I'm still navigating because I want to go to the materials. I've sent you those materials before, which have paper structure. I want to paste this one in our document so that everyone sees what exactly we are doing. We have introduction, no, control, new. Unaweza kosa ku start from that section ya MLA na nini, you just go to introduction, what I want to do. But there's a very critical step which I forgot. Most of the time in case unasawanga kuzima kompyuta yako, you work on a paper. Ila time unaenda kusubmit inakwambia iko 0 bytes. Ama it tells you, oh, please don't shut me down, I'm updating. Just like that, your paper is gone. How do you ensure that your computer always saves your paper? You save your paper using the title control, such that you don't submit the wrong paper, and we save it. Even before you start writing any content, always save it. You're going to tell me this as we move on. You just do the opposite. You'll call me telling you your machine has started updating. So I've saved, na ukiangalia file venye nimesave na title, such that in case you're submitting to me the wrong the paper, there's no you can submit a paper ulikuwa umefanya juzi, na you can't confuse. So it's saved there. In case you are sure your machine doesn't, it has those habits, you can always control save. Anytime you type like 5 minutes or even 3 seconds, control S. That way you can't miss back. So what are we supposed to include in the introduction? We say we move from general information up to narrowed information, which ends with a thesis statement. Now, if I'm introducing myself as a person who has worked with the government and I'm talking about corruption in Kenya, I'll start by saying where I was born. Why exactly do I have to include where I was born in the first lines of the introduction instead of the last lines? Because where you are born and corruption do not have a direct link. So you are supposed to put information that does not have a direct link with what you are saying very far away. So I'll start by where I was born, where I schooled. I'll end up with the university, that in the university I did a degree in corruption. That's why I'm talking about corruption. That is the last sentence of an introduction which connects to the body paragraphs, but not the other way around. At you did a degree in corruption, alafu pale ukiishia introduction unaanza kusema you are born and where you schooled. That's not necessary. It must be in a very orderly manner. You start with general information, then we narrow down, then we end up in something called a thesis statement. Not these words, because that's what you're going to find in the paper that I submitted to you. Let me just review it because it's recording. Someone is going to find it. Basic elements of a paper is start with introduction, main body, and conclusion. Anyone I know, all of you know how to do introduction, know how to do conclusion, but what exactly do you include in academic papers? Mostly in all types of essays. An introduction. Introductions are meant, I'm reading, unveil the main point of the paper. It is reasonable to start with a hook, sentence, or two, which grabs the reader's attention. May as well be a question, a little known fact, a meaningful quote. Instead of focusing on details, introduction should only contain basic background information, add with a paper thesis statement. So usikuja kwa introduction kucite kitu, just that is general information that anyone can know. Now, we need to go to real thing. We have said we start with a thesis and with a hook, sentence. A paper. Solar and wind energy are not enough to meet all of our needs. Tunaanzanga na hook sentence, then we move to general perspective. Then from general perspective, we move to narrow perspective. Then from narrowed perspective, we end up with a thesis. The thesis statement. Are we here? Are we there? I repeat. Tunaanza introduction. Introduction iko na 4 main components. Hook sentence. My machine. Hook sentence, then general perspective, narrowed perspective, then thesis. A statement. Thesis statement is the culmination of what you have said and what the paper is going to be about. So it's the claim that you make for the essay. Now, what is a hook sentence? We want to write an essay about, does God exist? Let's assume even that question is the title. Does God exist? A hook sentence is supposed to draw the attention of the reader. Ama that person who is going to read, ama kama the lecturer, if it's in a newspaper, the audience, etc. Mtu mmoja ataandika hivi, does God exist? That is the essay you want to write. Ataandika hivi, do you know that believing in God is the worst lie that you could have lived to witness? Alafu anaweka question. Mwingine anasema hapo, God does not exist. Who do you think has a good statement? Here, do you know? Because it makes you think about what you are. It makes you question your beliefs anyway. So you would want to read so that you know whom to argue aje kwa paper ama ataenda argue against my beliefs or towards my beliefs. So a hook sentence is something that draws someone's attention. Sikuja kuandika statement hapa ati corruption in Kenya is bad. If you write such things, no. Just say, do you know that in Africa, ama in Kenya, if you want to get rich quickly, get into government and get corrupted. Someone would want to know, no, I know majority of us are not against corruption anyway. Hata mimi nikiingia huko, I'll become rich. So someone would want to know, yes, unaweza peana techniques of how I can get into government and start stealing money. Someone would want to get interested in such a thing. So make sure you grab someone's attention. Now, solar and wind energy. That is a hook sentence. Now we go to the general perspective. You have asked a question. Then try from a very far talking about the topic. You can start with the general info. For instance, if it's corruption in Kenya, you can say it started in the 1970s. Maybe I think you should change that topic faster so that I can give it something that is easier without even doing research. And say corruption in Kenya. Let me put that. Why I do not smoke, yeah, because we have it somewhere. Why I do not smoke. That is a simple topic which you do not need to do a lot of research, just for training. Why I do not smoke. I want to start with an introduction. Tumeona introduction, hook sentence inaweza kuwa a very nice statement like a question. So I'll start with this way. You write what I'm writing. You just go to a very simple introduction, but it should be lengthy anyway. Introduction inafaa kuwa 20% of the entire word count. Why I do not smoke. Do you know, I won't write it. Do you know that a sizable population, do you know that a sizable population of people die from either active or passive? Do you know that a sizable population of people die from either active or passive smoking? Your sentence, it is in the form of a question. Is that true? Most of the essays you'll meet that I've done myself, sijaka your question. But I'm trying to bring the idea of something that is going to attract. You see, mwenye anasoma hiyo essay yako, it is either ana smoke ama they don't smoke. In this case of this hook sentence, we may include what already, because someone who smokes is active, someone who doesn't, but perhaps anajua watu wanafanya hivyo na maybe ana witnessingi mtu anafanyanga hivyo when she's close or he's close. That's a passive smoker. So you are likely to die whether you smoke or you don't smoke, so long as you know there is something that known as smoking that exists. Now, one would want to know if I'm an active smoker or I'm a passive smoker, how exactly could I die anyway? So, do you know that it makes the reader's attention get grabbed by what you are going to say? Maybe atake kujua what is going to be contained in yours. You still have the choice. It's your liberty. It's your right to write a hook sentence that looks like this way. Smoking makes you die, or like from smoking you can die. But that one cannot grab anyone's attention. It is either way. It is something that is so obvious. People who smoke a lot, by they end up dying because of health-related matters emanating from smoking. That's what we call a hook sentence. I highlight it in yellow. After hook sentence, we go to the narrowed, not the general information. People smoke cigarettes and sometimes hard drugs like people smoke cigarettes and sometimes hard drugs like marijuana or whatever you call it. Notice we are in very different part of the world. We use a very education system yenye haijatumika mahali kwingi in the world. Ours is a British system of learning. Majority of the words that we are normally used to zinakuanga, ukienda America they don't know them. Utaenda hapo kusema something like tunaita bagi huku kwetu. In America if you say bagi they will not understand, because it is a British name, not an American name in terms of English. Though it emanated, the English came from Britain. So people smoke cigarettes, and we are saying use marijuana because that is the name that is known across the world, because most systems zinakuanga inclined to the American, apart from us wenye tunakuanga na British education system. People smoke cigarettes and sometimes hard drugs like marijuana. We need to talk about another general statement. Cigarettes, I want to paste that on, so alright, however, cigarettes are the most abused. However, cigarettes are the most abused. All this one is general information. Hatujaenda kuwa specific ama the narrowed perspective, no? However, cigarettes are the most abused. We move on to the next sentence. This is the narrow. So nataka you underline in yellow, ama you highlight it in green, I mean a different color. For instance, green. So that someone understands that's the general perspective. We go to the narrowed now. Regrettably, smoking has been linked to health complications. Now unajua essay yetu ni gani? Why I do not smoke. Mimi nataka kusema ni health reasons. Regrettably, smoking has been linked to health. So I'm now going to the reason why I do not. The reasons like ati watu wengi wanachukuanga sigara ndo the most smoked. Those one do not even have any relationship with why I do not smoke. But they are just there to make sure that I have a solid introduction. Regrettably, smoking has been linked to health complications. Then we say asthma. What do you call lung cancer? I think it is just known as lung cancer. Asthma and lung cancer. Now I'm being more specific. Are they deadly? Conditions that that make most people succumb We are there? Esther, you have written up to there. Asthma and lung cancer are the deadly conditions that make most people succumb. Now I want to move to the death statement, which is going to tell you what my paper is going to talk about. I quit smoking. I quit smoking after attending a seminar about asthma and lung cancer and caused by smoking. I quit smoking after attending a seminar about asthma and lung cancer caused by smoking.